Hello and welcome. Here we are again, Tuesday, a new time, as I said, and that new time will be the time for a while. Let's put it that way. And I will hand it over to Marianne to introduce our theme.
Hello,
Hello.
Corinna, and it's for you really early morning today, and will be for a while in the early morning. But hey, that's what was created in this moment, and I'm so pleased to see you, to have you here, because you started something new, and we had a little conversation yesterday where we mentioned, yeah, in according to nature, how nature generates and starts not over again, but from generating something different. And it looks like it is something new, as in spring, everything starts again. So here with you now, with, yeah, your travel, your adventure, you are starting today, later
Yeah.
on. Yeah, in a way, isn't that also a new beginning? And how is your vision on that? What are your thoughts about that? The new beginning of, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, what I noticed in preparation is this is how much, even though we may not attend it, we get onto autopilot. We develop our routine, daily routine, weekly routine, and uh, what I'm hoping with this trip that I really get to practice to not be in control. I don't know where I'm going to sleep. How far am I going to drive? Uh, whom am I going to meet? People, and also how much am I willing to let go of any definitions that I have of who I am, of the image that I'm trying to project, the persona that I'm trying to be, and all of that, and can really go into this is who I am, you know, and and in a way, it is exciting for me to have that have created in a way that a possibility.
Yeah. And I think I never said it in words to you, but even listening to this, those words, this energy is melting my body. My body relaxes as with all the possibilities you're presenting, even there is nothing sure, there is no control, there is no, even in those words already, there is no control, even though you are aware of, will I be in allowance with everything? Will I
Yeah,
let go of control? It is such a contribution. They say, or they, whoever they are, but being you, or the contribution you be in the world, is a ripple effect. It it goes really into the world for everyone, and the choice you made to start this adventure, from the start you were talking about that, was already and is still a contribution in my reality, is an invitation every time again. When we meet, when we see, every time again, it is an invitation. And as I started off with the new beginnings, I notice now in this second also, even now, this is already a new beginning again for me, with what I received from you in those few words and from this energy. And looking and receiving nature, isn't that about in nature also? That every second is a contribution for this, the next second and the next new beginning, an invitation. Because what we, did we define as new beginning is that the definition I learned is something is new when it appears different.
Yeah.
When it appears different, then it is new. Never learned that a new thing comes from so many other energies also that already existed. So what
Mm.
is new? What is old? What is, yeah, and in a way, everything new, doesn't that include also letting go of something else?
Yeah.
Something else dies, which, yeah, dying is generating. Yeah, what are your thoughts about that? What?
I would agree. It's just we have to let go of quote unquote old stuff, and already saying old stuff, something new. How much of definitions are playing into what we define as old and as new? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
what
because
is
I receive immediately, sorry to interrupt you, but the image I got was something like, and I do it often, as giving something that doesn't work for me. That's, let us say,
Mhm.
the old thing for me, but gifting it to someone else for the other person, it is something new. Instead, it is something old for me. So yeah, what
Yeah.
is old? What is new?
What
Yeah,
is
go on.
yeah, and really letting go of the definitions. And what I'm keenly aware of, or not keenly aware of, what's been hitting me is, in a way, isn't it about being present with life
Mm,
and living? When I look at nature, yes, we have spring, which is the natural cycle, but what about new trees growing, for instance, after a fire, after a hurricane, after a tornado went through? New stuff growing. In nature, life continues.
yeah,
There
yeah,
is no stopping the life force life, you know?
that,
And
yeah.
how much with holding on to autopilot, to routines, are we ultimately stopping a life force,
Yeah.
our own life force?
Oh wow, yeah.
I mean, I'm just becoming aware of that as I'm saying it, but
Yeah, and I'm coming out more present with the sexual energy, which is life force, which is
mhm,
creating, which is how much we cut that off towards the idea that we have copulation or not in the physic, as though it is only seen, the sexual energy is only seen in such a small box, as though there is
and it's
copulation, which is in truth, the sexual energy is in truth the life force is
yeah,
generating. Is, wow,
yeah,
yeah. So how much do we cut off our own life force?
and
Yeah.
there is also the caring, the nurturing. All those are expressing the life force
Mm,
and keeping it alive. And so saying that, I go to the question, how much are we caring for ourselves?
Mhm.
How much are
So true.
we nurturing ourselves?
So true.
And
Yes, and as we speak about nurturing, even then it's not taking a bath and put on moisturizer or whatever. That's not a nurturing
no,
you are speaking about. It's
no.
so much more. And there I'm with you. How many people truly take care and nurture themselves, take care for themselves and nurture themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah. And this brings me to something you mentioned yesterday about the desert and sight words, or another way, seeing the green, which we can interpret as the green parts are the living
Yeah.
parts, alive, and the desert, yeah, that's the dead part. But can you ex- extend a little about, yeah, towards this one?
I mean, I have spent a lot of time in the desert, and you know, you do not have desert, or at least I was not exposed to desert in Europe where I lived. And so I saw desert as relatively dead, and was totally surprised the first time I was in the desert how alive, how
Mm,
vividly alive the desert is. It's just not when we look, which is during the heat of the day. Everybody who lives in the desert takes care of themselves by getting out of the sun.
yeah. So that's what created our vision on desert, because we live during the day. So then it looks like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But as
yeah.
soon as the sun goes down and the temperature, usually in the desert, the moment the sun goes down, the temperature drops drastically. And at that moment, everything comes out, all the insects, all the animals. And if you really look, I mean, it's fascinating to see how many tracks you can see in the desert.
Mm,
You know, like camping, and that spot was pristine, quote unquote. I mean, there were no tracks, and then the next morning there are all those tracks, and it's just absolutely fascinating.
yeah. As what this brings up when you speak about those tracks is also the communication. Doesn't have speaks in another way, communicates in a complete other
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Wow. And that's the beauty of nature, the communion nature itself has. Because
Hmm.
nature is in communion with every element, with
Yeah.
every molecule. And are we, the human race, or with a body as we have and seen as being a human, are we the only one separating us from nature?
I guess in a way we are, and for if I look at it, there are some people that are, um, let's say, intimate with nature, that are
Mhm.
really connected to nature. But for most of us, how often am I stunned when I read phrasing that basically denotes nature as the enemy?
Mm,
And so if you see nature as the enemy, then, or something to be conquered, then how can you have communion
yeah,
with it? How can you be connected to it?
yeah. Because that idea includes immediately that you put up walls, that you
Yeah,
want protection, that you
exactly.
separate yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it is so true. I'm completely there with you that there are just a few little human beings with a human body that already live really intimate and in communion with nature, as though even I make other choices, even I became more clear about it, knowing and letting or being in allowance of what I know about nature. Still, I believe every day there is moment, at least one moment, and more moments that I catch myself in separating because it's
Mhm.
an automatic pilot of doing it, coming out of it. Yes, it is quicker detected, and I change it immediately.
Mhm.
Still, it's not yet the natural way of living, as those who speak. It's really and that is so fascinating, and that intrigues me also. Your adventure, what this will bring, yeah, what it can bring you and through you, me and other people. What will you explore? What will you receive? We don't know, but it's so exciting, and there is an excitement and a relaxation.
Mhm.
Hmm. Really, Corinna, I think I believe I'm so excited as you are, and I see the really it takes courage to do so, and not from a point of view that you are a courageous woman, or but it takes courage to, because it's also a choice to be brutally honest with yourself, isn't it? Brutally honest in which way you are present with earth, with nature, with your body.
Yes, and I would ask, isn't or doesn't the willingness to experience to change, no matter when and where, require courage?
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
anybody
Oh,
who's
yeah.
willing to change has a certain amount of courage in that sense.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And yes, I mean, I am fully relating to what you're saying. Is there is a deep connection to the earth, and I am aware that for most of the day I'm living in my bubble, and that communion that I know is possible is not part of my world yet.
Yeah.
And
That.
can I change that, for instance,
Yeah.
during the time?
Yeah. Because and you mentioned it, knowing that there is a lot more communion, or there is communion possible in every nanosecond of
Hmm.
life, really.
Yeah.
Living in communion. Also, for me, I can speak for me only. I cannot speak for you, but there is a knowing that I am in communion with everything I am, and that is included nature and earth and
Hmm.
universes. I know I am in communion, but I don't live in communion. I'm not living the communion I could be choosing to live.
Oh, I would phrase it for me slightly different in the sense of yes, I am, and I am not willing to receive the
Hmm.
quote unquote information.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, I get into what it, when I look at it, I'm living in my bubble. And what if I expand that bubble that is includes more of
yeah.
what is around me?
And there is the keyword in what you are saying, the receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't it with the choice you make now, with the adventure you start, that new beginning, isn't that the invitation for yourself to start with, to expand every time again?
Yeah. To expand that bubble. And it's also, I mean, in Access, we talk about that we are infinite beings. And I also see it as an exploration. What does it mean to be an infinite being?
Yeah. Yeah,
You know, we
because it's
may have
infinite
mental,
and we can't imagine what it is infinite. What is truly being infinite?
yeah, and we may have mental constructs,
Yeah,
but due to past experiences, so to speak, those mental constructs are yay much of
yeah,
what it
yeah,
actually
yeah,
what
yeah.
it actually is.
So true. So true. And how many experience did we already had that lightened up
Hmm.
the energy of being infinite, the possibilities really that are included in being infinite. Still, it's it's some vague concept still in a way, because yeah, what is
Yeah,
it truly? What is it truly? And even when you can imagine or perceiving the tip of the
I,
energy of infinite being,
yeah,
isn't the same as living, embodying,
yeah,
and living and being as that infinite being we truly are. Yeah, big difference.
yeah.
And the trip you are going to make, it goes really through, yeah, it's nature, 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 nature all around you. I really not getting the words, but it's about the infinite energy receiving from nature, which is also who we are, but still infinite
Hmm.
energy. And then the one person in the car driving through that nature, I'm really curious what invitation that will be every day again in expanding your space
Yeah.
and only tapping into the energy. Whoa.
And it's really how much or how little am I willing to receive? by thriving, because it's not just the receiving the energy of the earth, which is a big part of it, and which I really intend to, by stopping and being present, which on a highway is a lot easier, hopefully, than on a freeway, where you
Mm-hmm.
just are caught up in the forward movement. Keep
Yeah,
going, keep
yeah,
going, keep
yeah.
going.
Keep going.
But for me, there is also the energy of the people that live
Mm-hmm.
in that landscape. And how can that inform me, and how much can I perceive and receive uh, by by being present with it?
So interesting. And I get that even, yeah, way of acting, bodies being, that it can be different and shall be different in different areas,
Mhm.
how the air resonates with the bodies, with, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you have the experience also, as I do, in a different way, but we experience that we are living in a different country than we
Mhm.
were born and grew up. So in the start, it was like, yeah, it's a different culture. But truly, what is culture? Is culture also depending on the interactions with that area, with nature, with what they have learned, which formed a certain culture? And
Yeah.
as the you will have it also, as in the south, people are different acting than in the north or in the middle, or,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. So also here, all the definitions we learned, on what was it based on?
Yep. And how much are those definitions based on assumptions and conclusions?
Yeah. And isn't it time to unravel also those things as we go through a
Mhm.
major shift on earth, living on earth? And for me, it includes all those new beginnings, as I experience in a way every day. It looks like a year ago of change where you go
Yeah.
through. It's so quickly and massively letting go of
Yeah.
control definitions and whatever more. So yeah, how would it be, and how would it be if we allow ourselves, truly allowing ourselves to live as we are, without, as you mentioned, control, definitions, limitations. So what a great time, Corinna, to travel. Even though many people can see it as insane. Who travels in this period?
Who travels during COVID? Yes.
Who does that? But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's whoa, what a timing. What a timing to explore, to invite you as the new beginning, because the way, yeah, the true you didn't appeared yet, perhaps in the body. So a new beginning of
There,
whatever.
and the thing is if, how shall I say this? if I can be truly who I am,
Mhm.
how is that going to look how is that going to inform the interactions with nature, with people, with everything?
Even though, how will it interfere with your body? How will your body appear? It can change also your body if you allow
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. I'm hearing it coming out of my mouth as though when you are allowing everything, when you are in allowance of every molecule there is, not even defining it as you as the infinite being or nature or so, in allowance of every molecule, how that can change our bodies into being what our bodies truly are.
Mhm.
Wow, yeah, I'm having that. I'm going with you. Energetically, I'm going with you. I want to
You
explore also.
you are so welcome to do that.
I know, I
And
know, and yeah,
and for me, it really is the question having that group. How much am I able to capture, express what is going on, what I'm perceiving? Because uh, what I'm also aware of is how much are we actually lacking language to talk about energies?
yeah. And is it truly that we lack language, or do we use too much words?
And isn't that also a form of lacking?
Yeah, yeah. And also limiting ourselves of
Yeah,
receiving. Yeah, everything will flow. I'm,
yeah. I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm just intensely curious.
yeah, me too. And
So
I'm so happy also that you have that part of the group where you will communicate and go along with. You are taking us with you on
those who
this.
choose, yeah,
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
those who choose. But I kindly invite people to hop on and yeah, what contribution can it be for you? And as I say, it doesn't matter how many people choosing to go with you,
Yeah,
more present, less present. It's not about the numbers. It is really what I perceive is or can perceive not as being the truth or to fix it or to define it, but
yeah,
there is a perceiving of possibilities. What contribution this your trip can be in changing so much molecules in the world required now to reach out and to
yeah.
reach more people, becoming more aware of what they could be choosing. Oh, yeah, beyond what is going on.
And beyond, everybody's has their life, and how much can they choose beyond those lives? And how much variety and diversity and richness
Yeah.
can be created as a result of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is something for me that becomes clear as how small do we play or did we play for so many years and lifetimes perhaps, not being or not allowing ourselves to be aware of the possibilities with the choice we make.
Yep.
It looks like, yeah, but who am I with this little choice I'm making now? But no, it's not the little one who makes just one choice.
Yeah.
It's so much more. And isn't it also the time now to acknowledge that? Yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy with the choice you made, and I'm truly excited and curious, whatever it will create and shall create still in the future, even when you are back home. Oh yeah, you don't have a house, so where your home is, you don't know. No, it's not where your home is.
Yeah.
It's where your next house will be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is one of the big shifts for me that allows me to do that trip, that even though it has been the case, but I never perceived it so much, I am at home on the earth.
Yeah.
And I can make my home no matter
Yeah.
where. And the one big thing that is going to be different after that trip is, where would my body like to have a house, versus intellectually, like my move to Colorado, to Castle Rock, was okay. I need a certain, I don't want to drive more than to the airport. And there was this consideration and that consideration. And what if those are not playing as much of a role as where my body is
Yeah.
really uh, wanting to be?
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that became clear for me also. Now I'm looking out. There is a knowing that it is time to move on, and yeah, I'm really present now with asking my body, and yeah, where wants my body to
Yeah.
thrive, not
Mm-hmm.
from the head
Yeah.
and the distance of, as you mentioned, airport, or even the medical care or whatever we take
Oh,
in
yeah.
as outlining where we have to go to or not have to go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great, Corinna. So I wish you a very good start of your trip, and then we will meet next week.
And I can
Normally,
do some reporting.
for some reporting, and it will be at this time. So for the ones
The one,
who were
this,
present with
this,
the old time,
yeah, this time will stay at least as long as I'm on the road.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
it
because
may
it's
change.
easier because of your stayings at motels or whatever, wherever you will sleep, but then you will have
Yeah.
easy access to the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. I'm
Okay.
looking forward.
Thank, thank you.
Where will you be next week already? Where, how, when?
Where, you know the game, Where is Waldo? Where
No,
is
I
Corinna?
don't know that. But we can say, where is Corinna? Where is she? Tell us, show us. Thank you so much, Corinna. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
catch up next
Yep.
week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.